Happy Wednesday, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. Hope you're getting ready to celebrate Thanksgiving with your friends and family. And of course, we are so very thankful that you spend your time with us throughout the year here on the show. Thanks for making the Be Our Guest podcast a part of your life. Today, Ricky and Scott join me and we tackle some great listener questions. First of all, we get a question from a new listener to our show who is overcoming an amazing obstacle in her life. You'll hear about it on the show, but we are so very proud of her. And she is celebrating with her family down at Walt Disney World. So we give her some ideas for ways to celebrate this amazing milestone in her life. Also, we talk about touring the parks and having a vacation with two toddlers, 5 and 2. And so we hope that they just have a wonderful vacation at Caribbean Beach. We also give some ideas for ADRs for large groups. Also, activities around the Port Canaveral area, because we have a guest who, check this out, they're doing back-to-back cruises, one on the Wish and then one on Utopia of the Seas with Royal Caribbean, and they have a few hours in between. So what are the logistics of exploring over there? This and much more coming your way on today's show. Don't forget, today's podcast always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney vacation for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link as you do that online shopping this busy holiday season. Please bookmark our link and click on it every time you do that shopping. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You can support us just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd love to have you. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Welcome to episode 2597 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from beourguestpodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you and happy pre-Thanksgiving as we get ready to celebrate the big turkey here tomorrow here in the States. We're getting you ready as you maybe prepare the bird. You can... Be careful with that. Prepare the bird, not the other, as you get ready to enjoy the big meal with your friends and family tomorrow. Scott gets it. He's here. This is what we do. We're going to have a good time answering your listener questions here. So if you have a question and you are tuned in live, we have folks tuned in all around the world. Shout out Mohawk over in Scotland who's staying up late with us here. We're having a good time talking Disneyland, Walt Disney World, Disney Cruise Line. So we have the crew here. We're going to have a good time. Scott's here, even though in reality, as you're listening to the show, he's down checking in at the cabins at Fort Wilderness. We have Scotty G. He's from Must See Adventures on YouTube and at F. Scott on the socials. Follow him for all the adventures. What's up, Scott?
Hey, Mike, let me be the first to wish you a happy birthday on this Wednesday. Happy birthday, Mike.
I know it's 22. I'm feeling 22. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You are feeling 22 and you look
not 22.
Not 22.
I feel 89 to be honest. The old creaks. I got the creaks.
I know we get to a certain point in our lives, right, where the birthdays they're just not the same, right? And I know you had a nice milestone last year, so I hope you're able to relax, watch some football, spend time with family. Maybe make a surprise visit to the Walt Disney World to come see me, maybe. But yeah, I hope you have a great birthday, Mike.
Just give me a win over the Hogs on Saturday, and I'll be happy to finish out the 9-3 season and get a nicer bowl. At this point, we had hopes for a college football playoff berth, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So now I'm kind of hoping for Las Vegas. Las Vegas Bowl.
There you go. That'd be awesome.
I'm not a gambler. I'm not a gambler, but they have pretty neat hotels.
And lots of dining too. I know you like to eat. So before you introduced our lovely co-host on this glorious Wednesday, yes, I will be at Walt Disney World. I'm traveling today, so follow me at Epcot. You know I go crazy with all that stuff. We're gonna have a great time at the fort. I hope at the time you're listening to this, if you're listening again kind of real time-ish when the episode's released, I hope I'm in my golf cart. I hope I'm doing some I don't know. What do you say? Four-wheeling, or it's not four-wheeling, but yeah, just
Go karting around. I don't
go
know.
karting around the fort. That sounds like a fabulous time. So very excited for that.
Well, it's better that you're four-wheeling rather than like two or three-wheeling. I mean,
I know. I mean, actually, I kind of want to be two-wheeling just for
keep
fun
all
to see
four
how it
on the
goes.
ground. Exactly. It'd be if you're two-wheeling, you're going around the corner too fast. Slow down.
I know. And then the
Is
Disney
there
security
like
is
golf
gonna
cart police?
re-
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
gonna revoke my golf cart license.
Yeah, they will.
That's what happened. All right. Also joining us, we have Ricky. She's from the mouseforless.com and a Disney World Afterall.com down in Atlanta, Georgia, the suburbs, where the Sugar Hill gang hangs out.
Actually, I will be on my way to Orlando as well. So
Everybody's going
yeah.
down. I mean, somebody's got to keep it in the Midwest. Mike in the Midwest has to maintain. What's up?
We have an impromptu kind of trip down to Orlando for Thanksgiving. So, yep, we'll be down there too, driving down on Wednesday at some point as well. So, yeah, exciting. Looking forward to some time with family on Thanksgiving, and then we're going to go to Epcot and kick off the Festival of the Holidays, which we're very excited about. Now, last year we did Brian and I, we did this with our friend Marlessa. So we did the cookie stroll last year. And it was a lot of fun. We had a really good time. So I have a video that's going live on Disney World After All. So my social for that. So you can look at, the video of what happened last year during our cookie stroll. And see what we thought of the cookies. And then we'll be doing it again this year, probably on Friday. So you may see if we run into Scott, because I know he'll be there.
Or
you may see Scott.
It'd be worse if he ran into you, considering he's got a golf cart.
I mean, that's true. Yeah. So we may film with him. We'll see. We may have you try cookies. But yeah, it was a lot of fun last year to do that. And we're looking forward to doing it this year. Brian and I have already had discussions about this experience, so we're looking forward. You'll have to see my video from last year's experience to see why we've had discussions about it. But yeah, we're looking forward to trying the cookies again this year, so it'll be fun.
I know we got listener questions, but I am a big fan, I gotta just say, of the cookie festival. Like,
yes,
the stroll, I should say.
The stroll, it's so much fun.
The whole festival as a general, I really
yes.
like. And one of my greatest eating accomplishments happened at a Festival of the Holidays, I'll just say. So we did all 6 cookies one day.
That's what we did.
And I think I stopped by 10 food booths maybe.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, we didn't do that.
And then had dinner at Tepanetto right
after. No. That's way too much.
I don't know how I had room for it.
Yeah. How were you not rolling out of Epcot at that point? I have no idea.
I know, right? And I would just say I love the black and white cookie. Sometimes I just want to get 6 of those just to get my completer cookie.
Brian and I, we had that one the year before, and we didn't love that one. So yeah, I know.
Hot takes.
I was at a bakery in Greektown in Detroit the other day, and it's just a delicious bakery. I saw a black and white cookie, and I held back from the black and white cookie because I knew I was going to get.
Are we talking like a bootleg version of an Oreo? I mean, I don't know what we're talking about here. What are we going at? How did the black and white cookie? I mean, you're acting like it's a brand name or something.
It's a traditionally Jewish cookie. I think they have it.
It is. It's at the Jewish.
See, because you're making me. I love cookies, but you're like acting like this is a normal thing, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's
man, I'm like salivating right now because I love cookies, man.
I gotta send you I gotta send you a Seinfeld episode to watch.
Yes, there you go. But I think the thing that hit Brian and me was that it was vegan, and it needed to not be vegan. I think that was our problem with it. So we would have liked to have been not a vegan cookie, and I think we would have enjoyed it a little bit better. So I think it's vegan again this year too. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy for the vegans that they have something cookie that they can eat, but for us it was a no. But I do want to put out there before I forget, I want to remind everybody. Mike, did you tell everybody last week, because I told you to, about
Twice.
You did. Okay, perfect.
But so give the final call, because it's coming down to the wire here.
This is the end of the calls. So we do our Be Our Guest annual ornament exchange and holiday card exchange, and the deadline is coming up like right now for both of those. So the deadline for the holiday card exchange is on the 30th. So that would be Saturday. And the deadline for the ornament exchange is going to be the day after, which is going to be on the 1st of December. But you might as well send the email now and just, get it all taken care of. We have two wonderful helpers who help us every year. Florence does the holiday card exchange, and then Michelle does the ornament exchange. And all the details are on the Be Our Guest socials. So search for us and you'll find all the details. I've got it pinned on Facebook too. So if you are, on Facebook, that's the easiest way to find it. But yeah, it's a great experience. We love doing it every year. It is, we just put up our tree over the weekend, and pulling out all the ornaments from the past few years. Well, the past, forever. It's what's this is the 16th annual. So yeah, for the past 15 years I pulled out ornaments, 15 different ornaments. And it's such a cool experience. So getting to share ornaments with people from around the world, and getting to share cards with people from around the world too. So yeah, it's a really great time, and we'd love for you to participate. So hit up those two lovely ladies and get on the lists.
There you go. And
yeah.
Michelle usually emails me like, Mike, are you doing it again this year? And I'm like, yes, I am. I forgot to email you. But she doesn't do that for everybody else. So just say,
no, just Mike, because he's a sucker. I already emailed Michelle asking her to put me on the list.
Because I always do it, but I get busy and I forget. But she doesn't do that.
I got to send my email too. And then I always do 2, so I can go buy 2 ornaments from Bronner's. That's my tradition. So
nice.
If you get me, you're going to get a Bronner's authentic ornament.
Dude, you're awesome. I sometimes go to Shop Disney, but we'll see. All right, so let's answer a list of questions. That's why we're here. That's why we're gathered. And Matt's got a question.
Let's answer some questions.
That's why we're here. And Matt is out in New Jersey, where I bet you they have awesome Thanksgiving. Speaking of Thanksgiving, hey everyone, I'm going on a trip in March, and we're gonna have 11 people in our party. For 3 to 4 meals, it'll be all of us at a table service restaurant. What do you think of the best restaurants to accommodate large parties? I also plan to split up our party when I make reservations using my account and my father-in-law's account. For reference, we're only going to Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and Hollywood Studios. We're staying at the Grand Floridian, and we already plan on going to almost every restaurant there. Any tips or advice would be greatly appreciated. Thanks, Matt, in Somerset County, New Jersey. Best restaurants for large parties. We're going to take Grand Floridian out of the equation, even the Grand Floridian Cafe. Great spot. Love that place. Also, you like all the fancy places. Scotty G would go with all those. Narcoossee's, Citricos.
I will say they will split you up in Narcoossee's. You can do that, so you want the separate ADRs, but the way the restaurant is laid out, it's near impossible to get a large table, so you will be at multiple tables at Narcoossee's if all 11 of you are going there.
All right, so let's give our best recommendation for a good, solid restaurant for a large party. Ricky, you can lead us off. Ladies first.
So I'm gonna do, because they have the 3 different parks. So I'm gonna go with one that I think would be really fun for their entire family, and that's gonna be at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and that's gonna be 50's Primetime Cafe. I feel like they can definitely seat you guys, if not at the same table, they can seat you near each other, which would be a lot of fun. Hopefully you'd have the same server. If not, you'd have 2 different servers. But the idea that you're having a family dinner in a family spot just feels like the best kind of experience for me. So that's going to be my big suggestion, is to do 50's Primetime Cafe.
All righty, Scotty G, let's give another suggestion.
So I've always found, like, for large groups that buffets work really well, so that, like, if everyone's not ready to order at the same time, or like everyone's like kind of mingling, like if people can get up and go as they want to grab more food and all that. So I'm going to go with a buffet. And if we're sticking to the parks that they're going to, the Crystal Palace all the way for me. You got the characters. It's just a fun energy. Like, I'm assuming there's going to be like a lot of generation age gaps here with this group of 11. So I think the Crystal Palace would be an outstanding one. But you will need to do multiple ADRs. Maybe grab a 6 and grab a 5 and just try to get there early and ask them, hey, we're 2 groups. If we can try to be seated close together, that'd be great. And I think that will work out really well for you.
So you guys threw in Studios and Magic Kingdom. I'm going to throw in Epcot kind of the same thing Scott said. I'm going to go beer garden, another
I
buffet.
knew you were going beer garden.
Dude, it's a great spot and it's an easy ADR to snag. Everybody can sit together. It's like bench seating. You can sit with other people. I mean, but you all be together, obviously. And again, you get a little entertainment. It's like one of those, you go in, it's like you're sitting in a little village. It's a snapshot of old Epcot. And it is really, really good. It's got great desserts. People don't talk about that. It's reasonably affordable. I mean, it's one of the more affordable, like, sit-down meals. It's so underrated to me. I mean, you gotta, there's lots of meats and potatoes and stuff, but if you like that kind of food, and I've talked to Matt, he's been on the show. Actually, he'll be on the show this coming Monday. He's our guest, but it's a great little just piece of World Showcase. And I think it's the essence of what World Showcase used to be. You know, if like you look at an old planning video, it's exactly what they sell. And so I'm going to go beer garden. Now let's do this real quick. Just a quick exercise. One in a resort. Give a resort large party. Because I would go with Whispering Canyon over, because they're at Grand Floridian. You could just easily get across Seven Seas Lagoon there. Whispering Canyon's a lot of fun. That's a good one for large groups. Ricky, you have.
I initially had my initial one was a resort, and I'm going to stick with my buffet thing because I think that really does work well for large parties. And I'm heading over to Animal Kingdom Lodge to Boma. I think that is a great large party. Whether you're going to do breakfast or dinner, I think you can get some long tables together, sit close by each other. It's just a great large party option for me.
That's a good call. I mean, at least we'll give them, 6 good options to think about. Ricky, you got another one?
I hate you for taking such a good option. Dang it.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's fine.
Well, Matt, now you know that's a really good option.
It's a really good option. And
one year we did it at all of us did at I was on New Year's Eve. I remember.
We Boma. Yeah, it was
a great with us. We had a table of 12, I think. Or
we had more than that, dude. We had a ton of people that night. We might have had 20 people that night because then we went to Epcot. Didn't we? That's the night we went to Epcot. Did New Year's Eve, right? But I remember when I got the bill that night.
Yeah,
dude, they almost had to bring out the defibrillator after that because I was like, "It's how much for 4 of us?"
And there's no characters.
Oh my! It was so expensive on New Year's Eve.
Hey,
oh man!
But Matt, it's still great. I mean,
it is still great.
You got to do it.
New Year's Eve, it was expensive, man. Oh man.
Well, I don't think they have the surcharge anymore. They used to. They don't.
It was crazy anymore.
It's just one flat price. They just have it all the time. Yeah. So, all right. So if you want to do like another character meal, I'm gonna suggest maybe do Chef Mickey's. That is one that you will want to have the defibrillator ready.
That's why you're trying to kill my guy Matt. Exactly.
Yeah. Ask me how I know because I paid for my entire family for my 40th birthday. So yeah, that was fun.
You're trying to kill your husband. You're trying to be a widower. What are you trying to do?
It was all his idea.
It's your birthday. Shouldn't they be paying for you?
No, Brian did it so that he would pay for the whole family. It was very nice of him because he was trying to do it for me so that the whole family would be able to eat together. All right, so that's gonna be my one option. The other one, I think is gonna surprise everybody here that I'm gonna suggest it, but I'm gonna actually suggest Olivia's. I think Olivia's would be I think that would be a really good choice. We've had some great meals there as a group together with a large party. Yeah, there you go.
It's so awesome. Quit showing it off. That's so cool.
Sitting outside is a lot of fun there. I think Olivia's is going to be it's an underrated choice for that purpose, and I'm going to go with that.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
You guys didn't go with it,
no, because we're not allowed to at this point because we're such homers.
Yeah, that's
true.
It's
like Scott picking the Lions.
I mean, I've been there 27 times.
Exactly.
So I probably shouldn't.
We can't. We can't at this point pick Olivia's. It's just people like shut up. So we didn't go there. All right, we have another question. It's from Kylie. Kylie says, "Hey, Mike, I'm a new listener. Thank you for joining us. It's great to have new listeners here. It's awesome because maybe people with us for a long time." Says, "I'm a new listener and planning a trip for this coming February with my husband and 2 young kids. My son is 5 and my daughter is 2. This past February, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. After months of targeted treatment, major surgery, and 12 weeks of chemo, I'm happy to report that I'm cancer-free. We are headed to Disney to celebrate." I know. Give me a chance. I'm reading. I got to turn to hit the bell button.
No, you got it. I do. No, I would have hit the bell as soon as you said cancer free.
I know. I was going to. I even hit the horn. I mean,
There
come
we
on
go.
now. But I mean, I'm trying to be the producer and the talent at the same time. This is hard. You know, most shows have like 6 people doing what I'm doing here. I got a flashing Christmas tree. It's getting dark
Well,
in the
that's your
studio.
fault.
I'm trying to do it all. But we're super happy for Kylie.
Yes.
Come on. My grandma was, had breast cancer and we were with her fight too. So I know we've been through this. After an incredibly tiring year, Disney with 2 toddlers is probably not the most relaxing vacation. Statement of 2024
Yes.
right there on the show. She just nailed
Yes.
it. What are your tips for traveling with young kids, but still making the trip feel like a vacation for adults? Also, is there one big thing you think we should do to celebrate? Kind of a YOLO activity. I like it. YOLO.
Yeah.
You only live once. FYI, we're staying for 5
Premier
days.
lightning lane pass. No.
Yes, right?
Oh,
Oh.
dude. Again. Yeah, I mean, I guess it is. She says, FYI, we're staying for 5 days, park hopper tickets, and staying at Caribbean Beach. Thank you so much, Kylie. First of all, Kylie, we're so happy for you. That is just awesome. We are more than excited for that. All right. So first of all, let's hit her first question. Tips for traveling with the youngsters, but still making it feel like a vacation for the adults. God, I haven't had little kids in a long time, but Ricky, you do. You
I
gonna stop?
do.
Good. So you go. We're settling in. We're the old
Ricky had it
timers.
good for research purposes for the
Yes,
Exactly. You guys aged out, so I'm like, all right, I guess it's my turn.
I bought my kid a car and I never see her. Like, just go to work.
Yeah. No, I'm going through this obviously right now. The perk that I have is my family lives down there. So I only get to bring my daughter to the parks for like one day, and then the other days are taken over by grandma and grandpa because they will not basically let me take her. So they're like, no, you leave her here and you guys go to the parks. And so I'm like, all right, well, guess
Yeah,
Brian and I are having
speaking
a
of
date
golf
day at the
carts,
park.
the Villages is the golf cart capital of the world. But go ahead.
Yeah, I believe that. So, but the one thing that I'm learning, with Lucy, she's almost 2 at this point. She's not quite there yet, but the meal times are definitely the more strenuous experiences for us right now. So I'm gonna not suggest meals long drawn out meals. I think that will probably be a little more difficult. So I'm really going to suggest that you kind of stick with counter service meals, which I know isn't the best celebration type thing, but for your sanity, trust me, I think it's going to be a better option for you. Long meals with Lucy are just torturous. Thank goodness for Encanto, because whenever we start to finally freak out, I just put on Encanto and we're good. So thank goodness for that. But yeah, I think that that's going to be key. I think taking breaks is going to be key too as well, because obviously we got the little ones, they're taking naps. So hey, you may need a nap too. Apparently, I need one as well.
So
but
you're like yawning, so we can tell you're
yeah.
exhausted. That's
I'm
yeah.
I didn't have enough coffee today, as I literally pounded a
You're
venti.
you're like a
Starbucks.
method actor here. Like you're selling it too hard that you have a toddler.
We're talking about sleeping, and I'm getting sleepy. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna suggest to take the breaks in the middle of the afternoon, around their regular nap time for naps, or just relaxing at the pool or whatever, just to kind of get away, and then go back later in the afternoon, and then the evening. And I do bring Lucy into the parks in the evening. I just put her in the stroller and push her around, and she'll eventually fall asleep. So there's that. But yeah, I mean, we have a really good time with Lucy when we get to bring her. Just go at their pace, which is going to be key. You're not going to be, winning the theme park awards by hitting the most attractions ever. Child swap is going to be your friend for sure, especially with a 5-year-old. So make sure that you speak with the cast member for some of those attractions that you may need to utilize that on at the front, and they'll be able to help you and assist you with that. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely, we'll see. I'm telling you right now, I don't even know if I'm going to get to bring my daughter into the park on Friday or not. So she may be staying with grandma and grandpa because I may not have the ability to.
So
But, yeah.
what I would add to this is, one, with kids 5 and 2, don't be surprised if these two things are their favorite things of the trip. And this might be disappointing because you're paying all this money for theme park tickets. The swimming pool at Caribbean Beach, which
True.
is awesome because it's like pirate themed. So they'll probably love that, both the 5 and the 2-year-old, and the Skyliner. The Skyliner is transportation, but for a 5 and a 2-year-old, that might be their favorite ride of the entire trip. And don't fight it. Like, just ride it. If they want to ride it, go back and forth to the studios, take that longer hop over to Epcot and back. And, you know, because you're not going to have to wait in line for that, except right at the, you know, rope drop in the morning. And, you know, let them swim at the pool. Go, you know, there's that drop bucket. The thing is, and let them take naps and, you know, go to the parks, obviously, and enjoy it, but in small bursts. So that's what I would say. But Scott, what about a YOLO kind of experience? Because the adults want to have fun too. But with the younger kids, what were you thinking? How do you balance that?
I know it's tough. And first, I want to just congratulate Kylie. Like, way to go.
Absolutely.
Battling cancer. You're like my hero over here. So very good job there. So I wrote down something, and the two of you might like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. But then everyone's kids are different. And like, you know, she said 5 and 2. So I don't know how a 2-year-old handles like fireworks really. And like some like adults can't handle fireworks. But I like the idea of a firework cruise because I think it's like a cool experience and a way to just celebrate all your accomplishments. So I was kind of thinking that, but that might not be for everyone in the whole family, like the dynamic there. So, but I came up with something I never even thought of before. And it's not just like you have to do it at a Disney thing, but I was just thinking like do something for you. You know, you just did this amazing thing. I'm thinking like go to a nice shop, like on the Magic Kingdom, like area, and find like a nice piece of jewelry or something and just buy yourself like a reward for all the accomplishments that you just made. And then like when you look back at it, or you wear whatever that piece of jewelry is, or a clothing item, whatever it is, it'll make you think of 2024 and the battle that you did. So I just like a nice souvenir for yourself.
I think that's such a great idea, Scott. And let me kind of piggyback onto that. What if, you know, she had her husband take the kids and she went maybe got a massage or something like that?
I like that.
I feel like that could be a really good option as well. You know, treat yourself. I feel like that's really great because she's definitely been through a lot. And I feel like, you know, they've got some great spas at, you know, Disney. So
I did the one at the Grand Floridian that one time after the marathon. I was a fish out of water, but they're fancy. They are nice.
They're nice. Yeah.
Parent got that for me. Yeah, and also this is a trip I would add memory maker to capture all those moments because the kids are 5 and 2. Man, as a parent who the kids grew up way too fast, like you want to capture those memories. And speaking of that, maybe if you want to splurge, do the capture your moment photo session with the kids. That'd be a time to do that. And really, you know, get that photo session while you're there because it's a special moment in time. It's a celebration. Really grab it.
Absolutely.
That'd be a good thing to do, I think.
I'm doing one of those this week.
Ooh.
Senior pictures?
Senior?
That's
Senior pictures idea. Round 4, I think.
That's a great idea.
We've done so many of them. We were like, oh, we might as well do a Disney one too.
That's a great idea. I love that. And Veronica down in Florida says, we took my niece and nephew, ages 6 and 8 at the time, to Caribbean Beach, and we didn't touch the parks. The pool's amazing, and they love the Skyliner.
See?
We did the boardwalk and walked around Art of Animation. So right there, yeah, exactly. I mean, the kids are going to like that. I mean, I'm a big kid, and I consider the Skyliner the first ride to get to the rides. I mean, it really is. You know, the monorail the same way. It's an attraction in itself. All right, Jennifer, who is in the Westplex, the best part of the country, says, hi, HBD Mike. I'm using
That's happy birthday.
I know. You think I know that? Just being cool. I was being cool there, Ricky. I was trying to slide it right through that. HBD, baby. HBD.
Weirdo.
I'm using, you're a weirdo. I'm using an after 1 convention ticket at Epcot. Is there still a 1 p.m. Guardians VQ? Ricky, that would be a virtual queue.
Virtual queue,
I'm just letting you know that. Trying to decide if I should use multipass or try for the queue. Thanks, THX. Just letting you know there. Ricky, what about the virtual queue status for Guardians, which would be Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind?
Thank you. Got it. Okay. As much as it pains me to say, unfortunately, they are still using the virtual queue for Guardians, and there is a 1 o'clock drop. I wish they'd get rid of it, but at this point, it's still happening. So the problem is if you can't get in until after 1, you might not be able to take advantage of the drop because you have to be in the park at that point. And you never know how fast Guardians is going to go for that 1 o'clock drop. I mean, sometimes it goes in 2 seconds. Sometimes it takes, a couple hours. It just really depends on the day. So if it's something that you absolutely want to make sure that you don't miss out on, I would absolutely get the lightning lane for that one. I wouldn't skip that. I would make sure you had that in your pocket. That way, you're definitely not going to miss Guardians.
So I'm trying to think though, could you wait till you get wait to see if you can get the virtual queue, and then if you can't buy it after that?
I mean,
or is it like too late at that point? You have to buy it before.
I don't know how quick it sells out.
It would probably sell out.
Is that the thing? You would buy it for?
It could, depending on the time of year.
Yeah. So she didn't say when she's.
Because that's still a single. That's still a single pass one, right? Yeah. So that's not part of the. That's not part of the multi pass. So she'd have to buy that one single. So I would assume that would probably sell out, but that's just a guess by me.
Is it still selling out? For some reason, I thought Cosmic Rewind was one of those that's not selling out. Why am I thinking that?
I kind of want to look right now at the time we're recording.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But I have a question for you guys. I know it's listener questions, and I am a listener technically.
You are.
So
I do listen.
So taking this question, I'm going to kind of combine both. So Mike's birthday, Guardians of the Galaxy. So as we said, to kick off the show, I'm traveling down on Mike's birthday, and my goal is to get a Guardians virtual queue. Now, say if they didn't do the virtual queue anymore. So this is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. What do you think the standby wait times would be for this ride right now? I mean, it's been around.
Yeah.
Summer 22 has been around 2.5 years. What do you think the standby wait would be
for Cosmic Rewind? Like Thanksgiving week?
Yeah, like on Wednesday. Yeah, the day the show drops.
Oh, the day the show drops. I bet you the Cosmic Rewind standby would be 2 hours. I don't think it'd be crazy. I don't think it'd be crazy.
I was gonna go.
I go 120.
150.
I go 120. Yeah, maybe because it loads pretty quickly. It's got a big capacity. That's the only thing it's got going for it. But it gets a ton of people through. But I go between. I'd say like at peak that day, 120 to 150 is what I would say.
What do you think, Ricky?
I'm. You know what? It's a good question, and I'm kind of trying to cheat right now. So I'm looking at.
We need to do another one of those shows where we do the greater than or less than kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm looking. Okay, so I'm looking at Rise the Resistance right now, and Rise the Resistance I feel like is the best, like closest indicator. So Rise right now is at a 90-minute wait. So I would say at the very least it would be probably 2 hours at the very least.
Because there's more things to do in the studios than there is at Epcot from a thrill level. So.
True. But you also have the problem of the fact that Guardians has not been a anything but virtual queue. So it hasn't had a standby queue ever yet. So as soon as they roll it out, you're going to have a huge influx of people who want to take advantage of that attraction because they haven't been able to. It's been such a challenge to try to get. So, I mean, there's still people. I mean, I'm sure there's still people that haven't ridden it yet, just because even in those 2 years, because they can't get the virtual queue. So I'm going to say that at minimum, it's going to be a 2-hour wait. And with it being the holiday, I would say 2.5 hours. Yeah, that's
my
gonna be
guess.
Okay,
my guess.
Let's go down another side tangent real quick. I'm just curious. What is the longest posted wait time you've ever seen at a Disney attraction? Like you've personally seen, like not like a picture on social media. Like you have walked up and like seen it, because I know, because I couldn't believe it. I about died. This was like 10 years ago. Well, okay, what was it?
Yes.
I think I've seen like 180 for Flight of Passage in person.
I can beat
What's
that.
I know what yours is, Mike.
I've seen 240 for Soarin' on New Year's Eve one year.
Oh, okay, that's
240 because it was like 7 something. I'm like, if you get in this line now, you are not going to see New Year's Eve. Like it was.
It was like, you with that actually.
It was Soarin', and it was almost like 10 years ago. It was crazy. I was like, "There's no way." I mean, because there's no way. This was like in the paper Fast Pass days, I think.
Oh yeah. So you're 240.
I have a picture.
I saw 240 on New Year's Eve at Flight of Passage. And luckily I did not, at the time, I did not, I had some passes that would allow me to skip the line. So they weren't fast passes, but they were the readmit passes. And so I was very nice, and I was by myself, and you could I could bring in, I think it was like up to three guests with me. So I went to the very end of the line, went and grabbed people at the end of the line, and took them with me so that they would be able to ride and didn't have to wait 4 hours. So
Nice.
yeah.
I just went up and took a picture, and I said, I'm not doing that. I'm going to go see the
I
fireworks.
created a little bit of magic for some people because
Think about how many times you could ride Living with the Land during that 200.
No kidding.
It's just saying.
Well, I saw today, though, that they actually have on the sign where you get in line for Living with the Land, it says Glimmering Greenhouses.
It does. That's awesome.
They're giving us some love. The best
They are.
ride at Walt Disney World. Thank
My
God.
favorite.
That's awesome. All right, Aaron's got a question. Let's get back to task here. Hey, Mike, love your show. Been listening since COVID, and I'm hooked. There we go. I mean, you know, if one thing good had to come out of COVID is that Aaron got hooked on our podcast. Love it. Anyway, my family and I are going on an epic back-to-back cruise in May, but a 4-night on the Disney Wish, and then a 3-night on Royal Caribbean's Utopia of the Seas. It's like we're merging here, Scott. Like
Nice.
your Royal.
I know.
Actually, I did this back on a podcast cruise, right? I did a 5-night on the Dream podcast cruise. Then I did a 7-night on the Freedom of the Seas. And I'm doing exactly what she's doing actually here. She says we disembark from Disney in Port Canaveral at 8 a.m. and then board Utopia in Port Canaveral around noon. It's exactly what we did. We just walked right off the Dream and got on Freedom of the Seas. What are some things to do for about 4 to 5 hours in Port Canaveral before boarding Royal? Will we have time to explore? We have a rental car, so we will have that freedom. Thanks, BOGP crew. Aaron, happy Thanksgiving. So really, you don't have that much time by the time you get off. And so Cocoa Beach is a really cool place. I mean, if you have time, I love Cocoa Beach, but I'm also a space nut, and I love like Mercury, Apollo, Gemini, like that era. And there's a lot, if you research, like we stayed in a hotel that was a really rundown, not nice hotel, but I stayed there one night before a cruise just because the original like Mercury astronauts at one time owned it. And I think it's like a Days Inn now or something, but there is like a memorial there that says the Mercury astronauts did own this at one time. Like you can get your picture by it, but my wife was not happy. She was not happy that we stayed there instead of Walt Disney World. But I was like, but Pam, like John Glenn owned this, like with like Scott Carpenter. And she's like, I don't care. Like there's like cockroaches. I'm like, but Scott Glenn, John Glenn and Scott, I don't care. And like I ran out on Cocoa Beach and there's signs like I Dream a Genie was like filmed here. She's like, I don't care. Like, who cares, dude? We could have been at Riverside. So, it was not a good day. But you could go to like Cocoa Beach Surf Company. You can go to Ron John's. I mean, there's all kinds of fun stuff you could explore, but in reality, you don't have as much time as you think when you're making that transfer from one ship to the other. They are right. The terminals are right next to each other, but there is a lot of like logistics of getting your luggage and then checking in for the next, cruise. I don't know. Scott, do you have any thoughts on that? I think time goes a lot quicker on those things than you think.
I think time flies by so quick, and I wouldn't want to chance anything like that. I mean, maybe there's time after, like before your first sailing, or maybe after the second one. But like, I think just hang out in that port area. Like as Mike said, it's going to go by quick. Royal Caribbean, like I don't know. I mean, I don't know how like lenient they are at Port Canaveral to their onboarding times, or maybe you can board a little earlier too, perhaps. So I would just leave the Disney Wish and then make my way over to where Utopia is, and maybe just wait a little bit.
Now, here's one thing I might do. Now, here's the tragedy of it all, right? Because I'm cheap, right? And I'm not going to pay for a meal, but what I might do, one of my favorite restaurants is in Titusville. And it's right down the road, and it's called Dixie Crossroads. And they have something called rock shrimp, and it is so good. It's like look it up. It's called Dixie Crossroads. Look it up. It's like famous. It's a great restaurant in Titusville. Man, I'm telling you, it's huge. It's a big restaurant right on. It's crazy when you pull up to it because it's like a place they added on and added on and added on. But man, they have good food there. I'd be tempted maybe to drive over there, but I don't even know if it's open that early in the day though, because you got to get on the ship so early. So probably not. But maybe just drive up and down A1A or something. I don't know.
But Aaron,
It's a lot of
that
work.
sounds like it's gonna be an awesome trip though. I like the idea of the back to back.
Oh yeah,
Get to see a couple different ships. So
two totally different
enjoy.
experiences too. Like the Wish and
Right.
the Utopia. Holy, Utopia is
I
gonna
know.
feel huge.
But you're sailing like two pretty brand new ships.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, that's kind of cool. I mean, the Wish is still like new to me, So that
Absolutely. All right. So if you have questions, again, just drop them in the inbox, Mike@brguestpodcast.com for next week's show. Carl had a little feedback on that show we did on transitions a few weeks back. He says his favorite transition in the parks was the one that's within a ride. And speaking of soaring, he liked the one on Soaring Over California where there's a transition in the Old West where the music changes to the in that section where the cowboys are. And it's the music, because we talked about how the music is like really kind of the focus a lot of these transitions. And he said the music changes to that Western style as you fly over the cowboys. And did you know, fun fact, that the cowboys are the same cowboys in both versions of Soarin'? The old version, and they got the cowboys for the new version too. Just a
I
little
did
fun fact.
not.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's the same three cowboys. And by
man,
the
I
way,
missed that soundtrack though.
oh, dude, I know.
that score
love
is
it.
so good.
That is
in
the best.
OG.
Yeah, they nailed it with the sword score. And by the way, they just fixed the Leaning Tower of
Thank
Eiffel.
goodness.
Yes, the Leaning Tower of
Hallelujah.
Eiffel. Yeah, it's fixed.
I'm curious about that. Yeah, because it's what did they do? Like they made like a super wide shot. I think is what they did, so you don't.
Yeah,
get
I
as,
think that's what
close
they
I
to
did.
think they didn't get as
Yeah.
close. Yeah, exactly. So that you don't lose that bendy bend, which is, I don't
I
know.
just
but
wish.
now you don't get to see the old Epcot though. The old Future World's gone. Now they're showing the new Epcot.
Well, that's
I wish
okay.
they would do. This is just a Disney fan speaking here. Like what they used to do with the old movie ride. R.I.P. I miss that so much too. But you go on there and you wouldn't know if you're gonna get the cowboy or the gangster.
Yes.
I would love to just show up to Soarin' and like, which version am I gonna get? You know, am I
That
gonna
would be
get-
fun.
Am I gonna get California or World? Like, and
That'd
then
be cool.
they could make more. They could do other ones too.
Again, this is how they sold us on Toy Story Mania, right? I mean, when it
That's
was
true.
like pre-production, they said, "Oh, we're going to change the games." You know,
They
like
did.
it's like we're going to put in a new video game for you every once in a while. And like I was like, that seems reasonable. Like it's videos, right? It can't be that hard. And how long's that attraction been around?
Yeah.
We haven't gotten a new
And
game.
I know you can't alternate in the same theater because the mechanism has to be aligned for the video, right? Because like the movements are gonna be different. But just have Concourse A be
yes,
World for today, Concourse B be California, and C is gonna be Lansing, Michigan. I mean,
yeah, it's gonna be the Westplex.
That's what it should be.
Soaring over St. Charles. Welcome to St. Charles. We're gonna fly over the Big Muddy.
I remember on social media someone was like, "Oh yeah, they should do a Soaring over Florida." I'm like, that'd just be boring. It'd just be swamps and
Nice.
like flatland. It's like
See Billy
Yeah.
Napier taking out LSU or
Yeah.
Ole Miss. That'd be not
soaring
good.
over college football stadiums.
Dude, just sign me up for that. Soaring over the SEC. Dun, 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 dun. Well,
Don't
that's
sign
the-
me up for that.
we don't
You
even
can
get
have
the old
some
music
SEC
anymore.
in there, but yeah.
Exactly. I mean, some people would. Anyway,
man.
we
That's
we've
easy, right? I mean, I know you have to make a film, but like you already have 2 films made, right? Like alternate them out.
That would be
Uh,
great.
and
Yeah.
we talked about this on Sunday night. We had tons of callers, and it was lit up because we talked Muppets and Monsters and all that stuff. But that's such an underutilized theater right there in imagination that you could turn that into a jewel. Like just
Oh, for
use
sure.
Use it for Muppet Vision 3D when they get rid of that. Bring back Captain EO. Bring back Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. You know, like all these old, you could bring back Food Rocks and all these things that people are pining for. I mean, instead of it being just underused, like it could be that.
I don't even know what it is right now.
It's
Is
like
it
a
still like get a
attraction.
horse and stuff? And,
Yes, yeah.
But you get a horse
So,
is great, mind me.
It
Like I
is,
love
but
that. But
at this point, it's so overdone, and you can it just needs to be replaced. I still think they should do an Inside Out 3D show in there. I think that would be again. It wouldn't be hard to fix. It would be easy to update. They could do it next year. Inside Out did so well. You could even throw in some of the newer characters from Inside Out too. I think that if they announce this, it would be like tomorrow. It would be hugely popular. So, I mean, I'm still throwing that out there. Inside Out. Put it in.
Could you? Yeah, Jason's in here. Could you see the tears that would go down like a certain segment of the population's face if like that score hit? And it's going like over like the big house in Michigan or something, or over Bryant Denny Stadium. Like everybody's getting their little. Oh my God, my heart's stopping right now. I was thinking about
It would just be
soaring
so
over
cool.
college football.
We gotta end this. We gotta end this with the sports. I know, but like if you like went through like the tunnel, like where the team comes running out of,
stop.
and like and then you shoot up over the 50-yard line or something. Like, oh man,
I need ice in my trousers right now. You gotta stop. This is too much. You're killing me here, man. Okay, we gotta wrap this show up. It's
Yep,
Thanksgiving.
please do. Please, dear God.
much.
I mean,
Let's
happy
wrap this
birthday
up.
to you, Mike.
Yes. I don't even.
You are getting old.
I don't even know what to say about that.
This
Let's
is
just
too
go.
much. All right, we got to get out of here, but we're going to be back on Friday talking Black Friday shopping. We're going to talk about our favorite stores, the small places that we like to shop, even the big stores around Walt Disney World and Disneyland, the resorts, the theme park shops, and all those places. We love to buy the merch because that's what it's all about on Friday, even though nowadays you don't even have to leave the house. But back in the day, you used to have to do that. All right. If you have a question for next week's show, Mike at BeOurGuestPodcast.com. Don't forget, we're brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan a great vacation here for 2025 or even for the end of 2024. Just swing by the magicforless.com today. No additional cost to you. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link as you do that Black Friday shopping this weekend. Just go to BeOurGuestPodcast.com/Amazon. That really does support us and it helps us out a bunch. Also, please support us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. $5 a month is all it costs, and you get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. It's a lot of fun, a lot of nostalgia over there. So coming over, we'd love to have you at patreon.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. Sunday night, Scott will be at Walt Disney World. Ricky will be at Walt Disney World. Mike will be here in the studio with you. So join me Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. We'll be taking your calls. We'll talk more Munsters and Muppets, and who knows what could happen between here and there. I mean, hopefully not. I mean, everybody should just be chill and eating turkey, but who knows? So give me a call Sunday night, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. We'll have a good time with that. And you can catch us all. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike on the socials. Ricky's at Ricky Nibs. Scott's at Eb Scott. And we'll be checking in. And, of course, Ricky and Scott follow them because they'll be having more fun on their socials than I probably will. I'll just be watching football, and I'll be at the zoo on Saturday. All right, so we are going to get out of here. We'll be back again on Friday. Hope you will be too. But until we get back together again, for all of our friends here in the States, you guys have a happy Thanksgiving and safe travels to Ricky and Scott. So until we get back together again, have a good one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and gobble, gobble.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.